of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about what do crows and the number 4 have in common. Okay, it's not like any other numerology video that you've seen before, I guarantee you that. But I have a real fascination with crows, and I can't even begin to tell you how much they've taught me over the years. So I can see a really close connection to the crow and the number 4. So let's take a look at what that's all about. So crows love family structure, right? The number 4 is always going to be about family structure. When we think about the number 4, we think about 4 posts into the ground, building structure. Anybody who has a 4 life path number, or who was born on the 4th or the 13th or the 22nd or the 31st, those are all people who are very practical, very grounded. You know, they're very, everything's kind of black and white to them. So rules are there for a reason, you know, that sort of thing. So the crows have a very distinctive family structure that I've discovered after watching them. I've had a family of 5 in my backyard for years. And there's always a sentinel watching, you know. There's always somebody who kind of takes care of the group and is responsible and makes sure that everybody eats before they do and that sort of thing. So that's very common for behavior. Crows are super intelligent, highly intelligent. They're creatures of habit and creatures of routine. Oh my God. I can call my crows in the morning and they will come in one by one. They'll come in. And it's my neighbors, when I used to live in the city, my neighbors would get really annoyed with me because I was feeding the crows. And they're like, why would you do that? They're going to be tearing into your garbage. And I said, you know what? For starters, they were here first. Okay, we're living in their backyard. Okay, they're not living in our backyard. We're living in their backyard. So I have to learn to respect them. So I figured out really quickly that if I feed them something, anything, except kidney beans, they don't do kidney beans. But if I would feed them regularly every single day at the same time, they will never ever touch my garbage. They don't even nest in my backyard. They don't even stay in the backyard for long, but they will come in. They'll be very respectful. They won't let any other crows outside of their immediate family, because they do bond for life and they are family oriented birds. But they won't allow anybody else in. So they're very much creatures of habit, and they're very much about their home. And they will protect anybody who protects them. So in these pictures here, you can see that this particular crow up here, he's trying to figure out how to get this stick into this tube so he can get whatever's in the tube out the other end, right? So eventually he does figure it out. I think this is actually a raven. When you look at his nose, he's actually a raven. But anyway, it doesn't matter, of the same family. So they're tool builders, right? So when we think about the 4, we think about the 22-4. That's a master builder, right? These are the 4 people are the ones that come up with clever solutions on how to get things done. Very step-by-step process. They think things through and they come up with a plan and they execute the plan. Okay, same way the crows do. So in this particular picture here, the crows intentionally throw or place nuts on the roadway for cars to crack them open. No doubt they're considered to be intelligent birds. I guess they are, right? I've seen that. I know that seagulls do that too. They're very hard workers. They've got a very strong work ethic. They're very detail-oriented, and they're very much lovers of security. Man, do they love their security. I used to laugh because I would put, when I lived in the city, I used to put peanuts out, and they would take the peanuts, and especially in the fall, they would take them in the backyard and they would bury them under their various leaves, and then they would come back for them later. They weren't hungry then, but they knew that they would need them later. So they would take the opportunity. They were opportunists. They were really hard workers, and they saw an opportunity to provide for themselves and for their families. So they went and they took the necessary actions to steal all the peanuts, until, of course, the squirrel got them first. But anyway, it's another story. But they're very detail-oriented, as a 4 is. They're very, very strong work ethic, very hard-working people. People who are number 4s, typically their work is extremely important to them, and I always remind them that they don't retire easily. They've always got to have something to do, because that's part of their purpose, right, is to be someone who works. And they really do love the security, so the money comes in handy. Crows are very observant. They have face recognition, extreme attention to detail, and they have great memories. Okay, so, and I know that that's the relationship that I built with my crows. They recognize me. They know when I would come out. Actually, it got to a point where they recognized my dog, and one of the crows in particular would mimic my dog. I mean, like, exactly the way my dog would bark, this crow would bark. It used to crack me right up. Anyways, they can recognize human faces and will even hold grudges against people that they don't like. Well, the 4 is like that too, right? The 4s are all about law and order and respect and rules. And if you cross the line and you don't play within the rules, they get a little cranky, right? Same with the crows. I love this this image in here. I don't know if you can read this, but it says, "Guys, he's the one who fed me that bread with the chewing gum. I was shitting bubbles for a week. Payback time, guys. Attack!" You know, and they have this repetitive call, don't they? I'm sure you've heard it before. When they let out a call, there's different calls for different things. If they're trying to call attention to the fact that there's food here, everybody needs to come in. The person who puts out the call, the organizer, 4s are organizers, right? The organizer, the planner, is the one that sits up in the tree and gets everybody to the food, okay? But they have different patterns that they use that mean different things. There's an alert call, and it's a series of, you know, you know, and they'll repeat that same pattern over and over and over again. I'm not saying that's what calls in the attack, but you know, you get what I'm saying. All right, crows are responsible. We want to note here that the word crow has a soul urge of the number 6, or a heart's desire number, the number 6, because the 0, or the O in here, the letter O, vibrates at the number 6. Okay, so the word crow implies that they have a soul urge of the 6. This is what makes them incredibly good parents. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to watch baby crows with their moms. Oh my God, the moms are the most attentive ever. They really take care of them. The babies can be really demanding, as you can see in these pictures. But, you know, the soul urge 6 says, I want to be responsible to my family, right? I really need to be of service to my family. I'm going to take care of them. I'm very, very responsible. I have seen crows take other crows right out of the sky and plant them into my backyard. You know, wings right down, and they're just completely nailed them in the yard, basically saying, this is my home, this is my territory, this is where I'm going to be responsible for my kids. You're not coming in here, right? They're extremely protective of their loved ones. They're very determined, they're very focused, and they're very inflexible, right? And that is such a criteria for the 4s, okay? Very determined, very focused, attention to detail. In here we see that the crow is using a stick to get a bug out of a log. So they are considered to be tool makers. Okay, this is unusual. This is something that was just brought to light here a few years ago in a study that some animal behaviorist made, was that crows will actually fashion a stick or a twig or a rock or something to use as a tool to get what they want, which explains, you know, they know that if they do this, they will get that. Okay, so it's very cognitive. Their minds are very, very quick. So, you know, never underestimate a crow. We used to have one in the city in Halifax that took a real dislike to a few people who used to walk through an intersection every single day on their way to work. And this particular crow became such a nuisance that they had to move it because he was dive bombing these people going through the crosswalk. It was the same person every time, right, through the intersection. So this crow had a judge of character and decided he just plain did not like this guy. Now, it could be that the guy that was walking across the intersection was somebody who's totally innocent, but maybe he looked like somebody who had crossed the crow in the first place, right? So again, it's all about law and order with the number 4, and as it is with the crows. So they can be very determined, very focused, and very inflexible in their thinking. When they get their mind set on something, that's what they're going to do, and they won't give up. You've probably seen crows do silly things where they just persist and they persist and they persist. And that's because they know how to take one step after the other to get the job done, as any good 4 can tell you is necessary. So those are the life path number 4, or born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or even the 31st. These people likely hold a lot of crow characteristics. So I know right now you're probably thinking about all these different people in your life and how does this actually play out. But I promise you there's going to be a really close distinction there. Anyway, this was just intended to be a little bit of fun today. Just an observation that I made, just trying to keep it light. Thought that I would share with you my observations of the crows and the number 4. So if you need to contact me for any reason, I am AnnPerryNumerologist.com. You're welcome to check me out there. I've got a couple of courses on Udemy you can check out. My Facebook page, Ann Perry Numerologist, Ann Perry Professional Numerologist, is up and running, so you can look for me there. And I would really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe, because I really am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers this month. So really appreciate it if you can do that for me. Any questions at all? post them down below. Happy to answer them anytime. Thanks, guys. Hoping you're having a great day. Take care for now. Bye-bye.